Well, the time of the winter sales are now over, and we have entered January, which is probably going to be a pretty lean month. For those who've never worked retail, January is a slump because everyone spent their money over Christmas, so there's not a lot of deals and there's not a lot of people going through your store. I expect it to be kind of similar to that when it comes to these deals over the next few weeks. There might be a few surprises, though. Anyways, if it wasn't for Capcom this week, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So let's get talking about some of Capcom's games on Steam and a few other deals that I've seen this week. So the first game I want to talk about is, of course, Okami. It's available on sale January 18th. All Capcom games are available through January 18th at the price of $9.99. Again, this is a beautiful game. The HD upscaling Capcom did is really good, especially on the PC. So I do recommend it. It's basically parodies of a lot of Japanese fables and folklore in this game. Throw in a bit of a Zelda style and a really cool artwork. And I do recommend picking it up. Then, of course, whenever this one's on sale, I gotta talk about it. The Mega Man X Anniversary Collection is on sale for $7.99, its usual sales price, but that's a really good deal on what's really a collection of 3 really great games. If you want to try the original Mega Man X, you can. It's free at Capcom Town, but X4 is just as good, and X2 is a really great follow-up. X3 is just kind of there, but 3 really great games for $8. It's worth checking out. If you want my advice on Legacy Collection 2, try Legacy Collection 1. If you like X1, you really like X4, then X5 is a pretty decent game. Not great, but pretty decent. And X8 is a hidden gem. However, 6 and 7 are the worst in the series by far. Anyways, we also have the Disney Afternoon Collection, which, this takes me back to playing NES games as a kid and watching the Disney Afternoon block. But we have DuckTales, Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, and all of these were made by Capcom, and they did a great job making these licensed games. We also get the super rare Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Ranger 2 and DuckTales 2, which if you wanted them on the actual NES now, you would have to literally part with an arm and a leg because they're super expensive. Another game that might be worth checking out after you tried the Disney Afternoon Collection is the DuckTales Remastered for $3.74. If you did enjoy the original, then WayForward's remake is actually pretty good. It's kind of a decent remake, but what it does try to do and does it well is try to capture the spirit of the original cartoon. And this is the last time, we really saw a lot of the cast get back together, since a lot of them have passed away in the last decade, including the original voice of Scrooge McDuck. So this is a really great game to play if you want to, really experience the magic of the original series one last time. And it does a pretty good job of doing the NES game. Where WayForward kind of messed up is the NES game's kind of open for speedruns, while the WayForward version has you kind of really going through each stage and collecting several different parts, so you have to visit each area, and if you're looking for the speedy experience of the original, you're not going to find it here, which is the only flaw in the game. Then we have some Capcom Arcade games in their arcade cabinet section that are $1.25 each. Here's my suggestion: Hyper Street Fighter 2. This is kind of a hodgepodge blend of every Street Fighter 2 version, so if you ever wanted to have like classic Ryu versus Hyper version of Ken, you can do it with this collection. And it does have a fixed version of Super Turbo. That difficulty is not set on impossible for those of us who don't want to play a perfect game. Then there's also Super Puzzle Fighter 2, which is a quirky little gym battle puzzler. You basically try to KO your opponent by filling their screen up with blocks by doing combos on yours. It's really clever and it's super fun. And then finally, Street Fighter Alpha 3, which is my favorite game in the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. It's got a really great anime aesthetic. It's got some good animation. Graphics for its day were pretty good. and I really enjoy the game. The only thing I have to say is make sure you make a quick save before you fight the final boss, because you only get one chance with them. And then finally, to go to the one non-Capcom game suggestion I have this week, Bioshock, which is a really great horror game. The remake is really good. Basically, you're a guy who crash lands in the Atlantic Ocean, manages to find this way into this underwater city, which would have been a paradise if he didn't come where a civil war just happened a year or two ago, and the very radically libertarian man has turned into a tyrannical despot, is running the place, and has basically turned everyone into a crazed killer that he sticks on you. But it's still a really fun game. It's not really scary, but it is very unsettling. And throw in some, like I said, really classic music, like How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? It's set to this kind of really horror theme. And it's an odd experience that's worth trying if you haven't, and $5 is a really great price for it. Finally, I gotta say, Epic Games will still have their sales going on until the morning of the 10th. So now would be a good time to collect some of those Kingdom Hearts games if you have had your eye on them. They do run better on the PC than they do on the PS3 and PS4, especially Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 0.2 versions. Frame rate's a lot better and they run really good. And you can get them now for around $20 to $15, so definitely check that one out. I'll link to the video with the more precise sales figures. And then my final recommendation is also on Epic, and it's Guardians of the Galaxy. And if you get it before January 11th, the price is a grand total of free. I've only played a few hours of this so far. I picked it up on the PS4 about a year ago. I've only had a chance to play a little bit of it, got a little bit further on it than on the PC version. Well, from what I played, it's pretty good. The stage design, it feels very much like one of the more modern Tomb Raider games, and I mean that as a compliment. And it has some decent story dynamics and decent story choices too. So it's worth picking up, especially if you're a fan of the Guardian of the Galaxy movies, which last year, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was the only comic book movie to actually make money, so this very much captures that spirit and is worth checking out. And like I said, the grand price is free. I hope to do a review on this too. So that is my video suggestions for this week. Guys, let me know if you have any thoughts. My name's Tommy the Game Master. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Base nano-resin cluster foam?
Never trust something with that many dashes in its name.
I'm thinking that big cylinder thing is our rendezvous.
Yeah, that's the mining rig.
So weird seeing it all clustered together like this. Bits and pieces of a war that spanned the entire galaxy held together by pink goo.
Ebrium-based nano-resin.